Tell me when.
My thing says it's live in 7 minutes. And
Yeah, I
53
see that
seconds.
too. You're good?
You are now listening to LRR Radio.
Hey, welcome one and all to the #1 podcast, winter, spring, and fall. Talking sports for the thrill of it all. Hey, talking life, but we're killing it all. Jason and Dan with the master plan. These are dangerous men with the mic in the hand. Huh? Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LRR Radio.
Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. What? Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Yeah. Dad light, Doug light, bright lights in sight. All right. Bonafide winners everywhere that we go. You're a part of the team.
LRR Radio.
Let's get it. What?
At Tanagra, when the walls fell.
Part 3.
Jeez. Coming at you another time for Loud Road Radio with my co-host, as always, Jason. As far as I can tell, this is the real deal.
Yes, we are live.
This is what they call the show.
Yeah.
Now, we make a lot of jokes about our studio.
Yes.
We say things about, I mean, as far as I know, we've had 7 or 8 studios.
At minimum.
at this
Minimum
point.
7 or 8, yeah.
But we are actually thinking that this is it.
Well, we've spent money on this space. We rented out the space.
So
Blank canvas.
it's a janitor's closet at a 7-Eleven. And
It's a fabulous deal because
Yeah.
we get all the slushies we want for free as part
Yeah.
of the deal. So it's $300 a month,
smells like paint thinner.
unlimited slushies.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
That's not a bad deal.
Yeah.
But so it obviously is rough. We're not going to lie.
Well, it is a janitor's closet.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But what we're hoping is to go on this journey with our listeners.
Yes.
And that they will send us things. We will we're going to paint this wall. We're going to
Yeah.
put in some cool things. We might even paint this table. Although, I don't necessarily mind it the way it is. But, we're going to make it look better, hang up some shelves. And so if you send us something, like a knick-knack, I'm not saying like,
Well, that's actually my first thing of the week.
oh, that's kind of cheating, it feels like.
Well, it's a big thing because it's a blank canvas.
Send us a coffee cup because Jason comes in with his Arby's cup every week, and it's the cheapest looking.
Listen,
What are you drinking?
Sprite.
Jeez.
No ice. I brought 2 things today, and my plan is to bring one thing every week.
Okay.
And you can bring one thing too if you want.
Oh, could I?
Yeah, I mean it's half yours.
To display on
Yes.
the show.
So we'll have some bookshelves and racks
Knickknacks.
and knickknacks and all sorts of stuff.
Paddywhack.
So the first thing I did was I don't know what that means. I brought a light.
Yes. So we got a light.
Yes.
So that's up.
Well,
and
I posted a
shining.
thing on a couple different YouTube sites, like
Yeah.
forum type of things, with a clip of one of the Netscape that was clipped out.
Yeah.
And I said, what constructive criticism?
So a bunch of mouth breathers in their mother's basement.
Yeah. Everyone said unanimously, more light.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, everyone said more light.
Well, I feel like I need sunglasses. I'm not going to lie.
We did more light today.
We did more light.
So we have like some massive lights behind us here, but then I brought that light.
I like that light.
I'm pretty excited. That might be my favorite light
Okay.
of all of these lights.
So what we've decided to do, instead of spend a lot of time on the front end to make it look good
Yeah.
before we ever started,
Right.
we just said, let's just do this it'll be
Well, it's a journey. It's a journey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the listeners and
So,
the viewers.
For example, when I was
A young warthog.
a young warthog, we went to a Cincinnati Reds game. You're wearing a red shirt there.
I am. And I'm
And-
drinking out of a Reds cup.
Ah, nice. And before the game, there was outfielders
I know what you're talking about.
playing catch.
I remember this.
Bobby Bonilla.
The Reds were playing the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's right. And he was playing catch with Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
And I yelled down from the stands because all these kids are yelling,
Well,
hey,
yeah,
Barry!
Yeah.
Barry!
Hey, Barry, give me a
Barry!
ball. Barry!
Barry!
Barry, give me a ball.
And I even as a 10-year-old, I recognized this.
Yes, you did.
And I looked around and I thought,
Master manipulator from a young
from
age.
day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, Mr. Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
He looks over.
Yeah.
He says, who said that?
Right.
I raise my hand.
Yeah.
And he sees me.
Yeah.
And he hears.
He said, who said that? And every kid was
Yeah.
like, I said it. But then,
Yeah, like Mr. Bonds.
But he cared enough to get to the bottom of it.
Yes.
I want to know who said Mr. Bonds.
So Mr. Bonds threw me
Yes.
a baseball.
Yes, he did.
This is not that baseball.
I was so excited. I was going to say, this baseball looks cheap. I did not think it would
No,
be
it
this
is
baseball.
not. That's not the real baseball. But I'm telling you, I have it somewhere.
I'd like to see
I
it.
have it. It's in a glass jar.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know where that glass jar is at.
Because you started telling the story, and you were holding the baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the baseball. And
That's like a cheap little league baseball.
Yeah, it's got
it
a
is
gloss
a cheap
on
little.
it that a normal baseball doesn't have, and it is misshapen slightly. It's
Well,
not-
I've hit it a couple times.
yeah, it's definitely lopsided. So, is that why you brought the baseball?
No, I'm saying, for example, if someone
Okay. Wow, that was a long way to go.
someone wanted to send things, it doesn't have to be sports oriented.
What are some things that we like?
Garfield,
The Ninja Turtles,
Murder She Wrote,
Ken Burns,
Slushies,
Applebee's.
like a gift card to Applebee's.
Sure. Well, I'm spending that. I'm not
That's
gonna
never
hang it up
getting
on the wall.
posted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything like that.
Money.
Yeah.
We won't.
An iPhone
11.
X, 11, 12, whatever the newest version is. I don't know.
Okay. So this is the new studio.
Yeah.
The hope is that every week it looks a little bit different, and then eventually we get to a place where it's looking good. The lighting will get better. The backdrop will get better. We're still going to be as ugly as we ever were. That's not.
But with
changing.
more lighting.
Yes, so you'll be able to see us. Last week, my wife asked us after we got done. She said, "Are you going to start doing like makeup?"
Yeah.
And I mean, if the people want it, if the people are asking for it, I'll put on makeup. I've done it before in my own time.
That's on me.
That's Dan time. Okay, that's not for the public.
When the wife and kids go to the store, the makeup comes out. No, I'm excited because I really think we're going to have some really cool, interesting things.
Yes.
Sent from Arkansas, sent from Montana.
And there will be the consistency to the show. At that point, we'll
Yeah.
have some consistency to where
So here's the thing. If you bring one thing, I bring one thing, 1 year from now, there will be 100 things.
That's the hope.
Plus whatever people send.
Yeah.
So there might be 150 things.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So send stuff in.
Yeah.
Well, how do they do that?
Listen, I'm not giving out my address right now,
Uh-huh.
but
Okay.
just contact us and I'll private message anybody
Okay.
where to send it.
All right. So
I don't want to broadcast my address, but
How do they contact us?
just comment on any social media, anything.
Comment on any social media, anything.
Yeah.
Or leave a comment on the YouTube
yeah,
page.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll connect and talk and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So speaking of YouTube,
Please.
this is super important.
It's a thumb
It is a thumb.
attached to a hand.
Aren't all thumbs attached to? Well, I guess not.
No.
They don't have to be.
No.
It's super important if you're watching this to click like.
Mm-hmm. Like it.
Yeah. So that's enough of that. What is your first thing? Subscribing is also important.
Wasn't
but
that your first thing?
Yeah, that was my first thing. What's your first thing?
So we're already 1 into 6 of our things.
Yeah, that's how it works every week.
Oh, man. What a way to start. All right. My first thing, Jason, this week is 37 minutes ago. I'm going to tell you what was trending on Twitter.
Okay.
And
You took a screenshot.
I took a screenshot of it. We're starting off great. I'm drinking my tea.
Yeah.
So I feel good about my voice. Now, what I'm saying leaves something to be desired. Here it is, 37 minutes ago. And you'll have to explain to me why these things, because you're more up to date than I am.
A little bit.
I am out of date.
Yes.
I'm not up to date.
You haven't been on a date in years.
No, I haven't. Number 1, 37 minutes ago, hashtag RIP capitalism.
Oh, that's pretty obvious. The communism.
I mean, why is it number 1, though?
I don't know.
That's the question. I understand maybe what the
I'm sure
hashtag means, but what is...
I'm sure Trump tweeted it.
Okay. Number 2, hashtag Kurt is Connor is over party.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Hashtag 3, watermelon sugar.
I don't know what that is, but I'm curious to find out.
Okay. Number 4 is Wisconsin Supreme Court.
I don't know.
Next, UFC Jax.
I know UFC.
JAX, which I think
I
is
don't know what that is.
Jacksonville.
Oh, it could be.
Okay. Number 6, Boozy. BOOSIE.
I like some boozies.
Do you know what that is?
No, I don't know what that is.
Why is it so... Number 7, Spalding. Why is Spalding?
The pitcher? Warren Spalding?
I don't know. It just says
Or the
Spalding.
athletic equipment?
Number
the
8,
Spalding ball?
Subpoena Obama.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
Okay. What is it?
He did lots of bad things, and he should go to jail.
Number 9, Same Drugs.
I don't know.
And number
I don't,
10, Summer Friends.
No, I don't know what any of this stuff is.
What?
Listen, I don't Twitter. I
Yeah,
don't
but
Twitter.
shouldn't Twitter be a sampling of what
I
is
don't get
happening in the
Twitter.
world?
I've tried, and I do sometimes. I get on Twitter, but I don't get
I've
it.
tried. 2 hours ago, Red Lobster was
What?
trending. Why was Red Lobster trending?
I don't know.
I had Red Lobster the other day.
Maybe they have like Wednesday all-you-can-eat seafood.
Got it for my wife for Mother's Day.
You-
Takeout.
Oh,
And
okay.
those, man, those cheesy biscuits, those are pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right. That was weak. That was my first thing, but that's all I got.
Okay.
What's your second thing?
Got a little game.
You have brought props today.
I did bring props. I have a bucket filled with stuff. Here, take that.
Oh, jeez.
Simple game. We're going to both blow up our balloon.
Okay.
First one to explode it wins by overblowing.
That's it.
Yeah.
I can't. blow
No,
it
you
up to
can't
certain
hit it
level
or
and then
smack it or pin, with a sharp object.
pop. Okay.
Simply blow. Stella, count us down.
3, 2, 1.
My beautiful face!
I'm very glad it happened to you. Did that hurt?
It was a backlash of that balloon. It snapped back and hit me in the face. Do you have a mark? Holy cow. That was my number 2. I came strong. Your face, it was red before because of the sunburn.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
No.
Are you going to pass out?
So that's my number 2.
That's my number 2.
What's that?
That was my number 2.
No, you've led into my number 2.
Oh.
So I've been walking a lot more. I said that last week. So I'm averaging 10,000 steps
Good for you.
for the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Sunday, so when I say averaging 10,000 steps, that does not mean I've walked 10,000 steps every single day. But your phone does the math.
12,000 one, 8,000 another.
You get the idea.
That's 10,000.
So Sunday, it was Mother's Day. We got home from church, Red Lobster, as I said earlier, and then just passed out. I mean, the kids are gone, by the way. They're not at the house. They're visiting their grandparents and cousins in Montana. And so Eric and I are just at the house by ourselves, and I just passed out, and there was no kid to, wake me up to ask me what was to eat. I mean, I just slept for the rest of the day, and I woke up, in a haze.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't walk. So I had 2,000 steps on Sunday. Well, now I got some makeup. So I'm thinking, okay, I could do 12,000 steps for the next 3 days.
Right.
Kind of a thing and just kind of get back into it. Well, So I woke up on Monday, which is typically a day off for me, and I decided I'm just going to see how far I can walk.
One Direction?
Yeah. Well, because I told Erica, because it was really cold also on Sunday, and I said, I'm going to go for a walk, and I'll be gone for a while, And she said, do you want me to come pick you up? And I said, that's perfect. So that way I don't have to think about where I'm going. I'll just walk, So this isn't going to mean as much, to people that aren't from the area. But I made it about halfway down Dunbar Road.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty good walk. My thought was I was going to walk to Prospect. So,
get some ice cream.
Well, that would be my prize. If I made it that far, I'm going to get some ice cream.
That's a pretty good walk.
So I'm going on this walk, and it's windy. And
Yeah.
I've just been outside a lot more today. I was outside for a couple of hours today, got a lot more sun. But I've been enjoying the walking. I've actually really liked it. 10,000 steps a day is just hard enough that you have to be on purpose. Right. So the other day I'm walking, and I am going through the neighborhood. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and the streets are pretty quiet. I have my headphones in. I'm listening to a book, Lord of the Rings, which is my typical walk.
That's your go-to.
Typically that's what I listen to when I walk. And all of a sudden, in front of me, scurrying across the road,
skunk.
No, a possum. Possum is an ugly animal.
Yeah.
Beady eyes, rat tail.
Yeah.
Kind of like, it's not even fur. It's more like, I don't know, like kind of a weird hair.
Fuzz.
And like very coarse.
Yeah.
And I'm walking along, and I see it when it's about halfway down the street, and it's a big one too. It's a really big one. And it doesn't see me, but we're walking to where we're about ready to cross paths.
Yeah.
So I, back up. I don't need to get in a fight with a possum today.
Come on.
I don't need to get in a fight.
I don't know who's going to win that fight.
Well, I mean, if when the fight is one of us die, then I like my chances.
In the short term.
In the short term, the possum wins.
Yeah.
Because it's got teeth and nothing to lose. You know what I mean? It's a possum.
Yeah.
It's got a possum family at home? No, I don't think so. So we're walking. So I stop about 10 feet away from it, and all of a sudden it recognizes me.
Yeah.
And it stops, and it looks up at me, and I'm looking at it. And we sat there for like 30 seconds when it was just like, look, and I got nowhere else to go. This is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And eventually it runs off. It was such a weird, I felt like I had a moment with the possum where it's like, we're cool. We cool. Yeah, we're cool. And then it just kind of scurried off, So that's my second thing. I met a possum, and I'd like to call him
Timmy.
I was going to go with alliteration.
Oh.
Purvis.
Purvis the possum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I was going to go with.
That's your
Listen, I think here's the problem, Jason.
Yeah.
If I can really break it down.
Yeah.
There was a time in this show's life.
Yeah. Explain this.
There was a time in the life of this show
when we cared,
where content mattered.
Yes.
And I feel like we're getting so distracted.
Yes.
With the visual aspect of it.
Because look at it.
And that, well, obviously. You know what I mean?
We're so distracted.
Yeah.
By making this.
Spent so much time.
Yeah.
Making all of this.
That light
happen.
It didn't happen by accident.
All of a sudden, you're like, "Are you ready? Press record. All right, we're ready to go." We haven't thought about what we're going to talk about. You know, like that hasn't been on our minds at all. It's all been about the show.
Yes.
So we need to get back to our roots, back to the content that really matters.
Next week, I'm bringing it.
Are you?
We may have a guest. When we have a guest, it's easy because they bring the content.
They bring the content.
We just need more guests.
I'm happy to have more guests on the show.
Next week, I think we'll talk. I don't know anything about NASCAR. Like nothing. I know you go around the track this way.
Left-hand turns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Left-hand turns. Mm-hmm. And you drive fast. I want to go fast.
Ideally.
Yeah. So we have a guy coming to talk about that. He'll talk about other stuff too.
I can't talk about NASCAR that much.
Okay, Derek, listen, we're going to have to talk about something else.
I'm not going to pretend like I'm interested in left-hand turns. I'm just not. I don't care about cars.
Maybe.
I long for the day that cars didn't even exist. Like, that's that's me.
I want to go back to the horse and buggy.
Or even before that.
What was before the horse and buggy?
Cavemen.
Just horse?
Just
large
walking
dog
around.
Yeah.
You know?
I like cars.
I
like driving cars.
It's overrated.
My third and final thing. So this is everybody's in the same boat on this one as parents. None of us have agreed to homeschool our kids. Right? None of us have. None of us said, yeah, I'll homeschool my kids.
Okay.
It's awful. Unless you have enough time and resources to dedicate towards it, it's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to homeschool my kids is awful.
Yeah.
Next school year, they are proposing a 2-day school week.
Why?
To stagger the kids. Half the second graders would go one day, the other half would go the other 2 days. Is this not the stupidest thing you've ever heard?
Why? Is that going to save? I mean, the kids are still populating. It's not.
Everything about it is stupid.
Like, I was just talking to somebody today. They're like, are they going to raise the number to 50 instead of 10? I'm like,
to what?
Like the don't gather in groups of more than 10. Now they're going to change the number to 50. Like, what's the difference between 50 and 100 at that point?
Right.
Like, I understand maybe I understand 10, but once you start to get to those numbers, it's just like, you know what? Like, I go to Walmart every day.
Yes.
And there are people everywhere.
There's 1,000 people at Walmart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they can't go anywhere else.
Here's the thing that really, I really get hacked off. The school thing, I do get hacked off because, like, listen, this is a bad deal for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants it. The teachers don't want to do this.
Yeah.
The parents don't want to do this.
That's not what anybody signed up for.
And the kids don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Come next fall, nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
Not one person have I talked to said, yeah, let's do that.
The 2-day thing.
The 2-day thing.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's one of the dumber things I've heard.
That is so dumb.
In a time where you hear a lot of dumb things.
That's like the dumbest.
That's one of the dumbest.
The most dumbest,
Sure.
I would say.
Yeah, one could say.
So here's the thing, and we're going to approach this really, really soon before we realize it, but they are still trying to get mail-in voting.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is awful. I think there's so much corruption and fraud
It's a rigmarole
ready to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who makes the voting machines? The buttons? Company called Diebold. Now, not all of them. There's different companies make them, but Diebold primarily makes.
They also make ATM machines.
They make ATMs. Do you know what else they make? Walmart self-checkout. The Walmart self-checkout where you scan and you punch the screen and you type in and you slide your card.
Yeah.
You know what that's almost exactly like? Voting.
Yeah.
You have a little card, you put it in there, you type in your stuff.
Yeah.
If you can't, we use self-checkout at Walmart. They force us to. There are no more cashiers.
I know.
Everybody uses self-checkout every single day. Thousands of people.
Okay.
And yet our fine government, particularly the far left, says that it's too dangerous, that November elections have to be mail-in because it's too dangerous to go to the polls and cast your vote.
If I was a conspiracy theorist, this is where I might wonder.
I'm telling you,
trying to jimmy the numbers.
Well, because they know Trump's going to win again.
Well,
Trump will win. He will win unless there's fishiness happening behind the scenes. Trump will win.
Yeah.
I'd have no doubt about that.
And I think even this whole quarantine thing, I think they're hoping it'll keep Trump from debating Biden openly, right?
The Democrats are worried about that.
Yes.
Because
they don't want they don't want a debate between Biden and Trump.
That would be awful for them. I still think most of them are secretly hoping that he really is delusional and dementia and all this stuff, and like it will come out and they're like, okay, we got to put Hillary back in or Obama or somebody.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. Joe is awful. There's so much bad
what
stuff.
Excuse me for not knowing, but is there a constitutional amendment now that prohibits Obama from running again?
Yeah, so you can't run more than 2 terms. Like you can't be nominated and
But is there an
get voted in.
exemption because of a war?
If
is
you
that
are
how
currently
FDR
in, yes,
that's how FDR.
but
pulled
he
it
was
off,
currently in office.
because
Yeah.
of the war, so
Right.
he could continue to run, even though
Extends his
because he went
Right.
went 4 terms.
Right.
Although his 4th term he only went 86 days into it, but he
Yeah.
would have gone 4 full terms.
Well, see, I have heard, and I don't know, this is like fuzzy area, but maybe they do a Biden-Obama ticket
right.
because Obama wouldn't be the head of the
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah,
Biden
yeah.
would be,
Mm-hmm.
but Obama would still be
Then
there.
all of a sudden Biden croaks.
Now you got Obama.
which is gonna happen.
But, yes. But then Obama wasn't elected by the
Mhm.
public. He was the vice president who
Now
stepped
he-
in.
now
So
he can be
now he's a 3rd term.
the designated survivor.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll
I'm
happen.
telling you, I can't stand. There's so much inconsistencies
Yes.
with everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest problem. The
Yeah.
inconsistencies.
They're everywhere.
If you just say science says A, B, and C, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's
No.
A, F, and Q,
Mm-hmm.
and then B, 4, and orange
7.
contradict that stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
None of this stuff makes sense.
No, none of it makes sense. They have no idea. Everybody's just making it up as they go,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I've been saying this from day one. I am on record.
You are on record.
You know, I was mocked. I was made fun of,
Yeah.
but I don't care.
Mostly by me.
I've said it's ridiculous from day one, and it still is ridiculous.
My whole point, going back to that point,
Are we still live?
my whole point, though, was in 1917,
Mm-hmm.
18, there was the pandemic that killed millions of people.
Yeah.
Millions
Mm-hmm.
worldwide. That will happen again. I have
Okay.
no doubt that that will happen. Now, what they were trying to tell us, no, it will happen. It happens every couple hundred years at minimum.
Okay.
That will happen again. What they were trying to tell us originally was this was that.
Right.
This is the 1917 pandemic, and we have to lock everything down.
Yeah.
It's not.
No.
Turns out
Turns out.
not that bad.
Yeah. I've spoken with like multiple people who are like, I'm pretty sure before even anybody heard of it, I had it.
Yeah, there's a lady in my office. I swear she had it in December.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
really did. It was,
it was
fever
breathing
and cold
things
and couldn't breathe. Yeah.
And the doctor couldn't figure it out.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I've talked to like 7 or 8 people that had that situation.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been exposed to this thing. It's too late. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. That's my third thing. Schools 2 days a week.
That's a horrible idea.
It's a horrible idea. Horrible.
Here's one of the most annoying. There have been a lot of annoying byproducts of all of
Yeah.
this. You know, having to drive through my neighborhood and watching somebody outside by themselves
In a
their
mask.
yard with their mask on.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you accomplishing? I saw a guy on a motorcycle without a helmet, but he was wearing a mask.
Yeah. Well, that's somewhat common. You get bugs and stuff.
No,
that you
no,
swat.
no, 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 no. It was a medical mask, and I've never
A
seen
medical mask
Yes.
on a
It
motorcycle.
was one of the medical masks.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. There are a lot of annoying. I didn't want to get annoyed in this podcast, Jason. That was not what I wanted. But
Mission accomplished.
one of the most annoying things
Yeah.
is I am 100% sure that this has given license to lazy people.
Oh, yeah.
People are lazier than they've ever been. Like
Yeah.
in the stores, they don't give a crap.
Yeah.
So my wife and I were at Lowe's the other day, and we were buying some door handles that we wanted to get keyed up to other doors in the facility, right? Because we want one key for multiple.
Right.
So she said, here's the master key, and I'm looking for somebody to do this. And the guy that was in the area would not make eye contact with us, was talking through a mask, and we couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you talking to us? He's like, you know, and it was just the worst customer service I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, basically, finally we got it out. He couldn't help us. And he wouldn't even look at us.
Yeah.
We were the only people that, and when it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then we go to the counter, to the service desk, to the pro desk. This is because Erica says, let's go to the pro desk. That's where you always get the best service. I laughed. So we went to the pro desk. We told the guy there, this is what we want. And he goes, no, we don't do that. And Erica said, well, You do, because you've done it before for us multiple times. And this is his response. And he wasn't being sarcastic. He wasn't trying to be funny. He was being 100% serious. He's like, well, I've been here for a month, and we've never done it. It's like, oh, excuse me, everybody stop. This gentleman's been here for a whole month.
Yeah.
So apparently he has the entire, why would you even say that? Like, even if I was working at a store and I'd only been there for a month and somebody was coming up to me and I was 100% convinced that I was right about what I was saying, the last thing that I would say to bolster my argument,
excuse me, I've been here a month.
I've been here for a month, which means he probably works 3 days a week, and that guy's taking some days off too.
Yeah.
He's probably worked like 7 days there.
Yeah.
I've been
and
in
the first
that
week he was in
Lowe's
training.
more hours than he has. I know more about the way things work there than he does.
Yeah.
It's just giving license to lazy people. They're like, well, I can't really do that. I was at Ollie's. Ollie's, good stuff, cheap. So
I found a set. Stella and I went there.
Mm-hmm.
There is a nice like outdoor patio set.
Yeah.
Like I thought it'd be perfect for this.
Oh, that would be.
I took a picture of it.
I was in Ollie's.
Yeah.
At the cashier.
Mm-hmm.
One cashier's talking to another, and she says, "Oh, that's too bad. We can't help her out." That's what I just overheard the conversation.
There's a patio set.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. That looks
And the chair set up a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know that this is the time to do this. So I was at Ollie's.
I didn't know you were going to bring up Ollie's.
Store right there.
Yeah.
And I overhear this conversation. Oh, man, it's too bad we can't help her. And I'm like, excuse me.
You said this?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking about? You can't help who? She's like, oh, that lady right there. Old, 80-something-year-old lady.
Yeah, old.
She had 5 or 6 bags of soil, like big bags of garden soil. And she wanted it help put it in her trunk.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you can't help her put it in the trunk? Like, isn't there a guy or somebody? She's like, well, normally we do, but we're not allowed to do that right now. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I helped the lady.
Yeah.
I went and, said, hey, I'll put it in your trunk for you. And I'm just like, if I worked at Ollie's, I am 100% sure. Well, first of all, I mean, not the best and brightest working at Ollie's. So I think I could work my way up the ladder pretty quick. But if I did work there,
yes.
I'm 100% sure. I'd say, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to help this old woman put this stuff in her trunk. And this is just the way people have always been. And now they have an excuse. Well, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I can't, because
it's a liability issue.
Yeah. When my kids went to the airport,
it
was everywhere. I mean, it was just the laziness. And we can't really open this up. And we can't really do that. And, this area. And then we had to wait. It was just, I'm not even going to get started. It's given license to lazy people. And you know what? I'm just not okay with it. But what can I do? All right. Am I at my third thing now?
I think so. Was that your third thing?
No. that was your third thing.
Tag team off my third. Okay.
Yeah. So my third thing is I got a few things that I could talk about. I've been thinking a lot about baseball lately, just missing baseball.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of baseball last year, but I like just the thought that I could.
Yeah.
I like turning it on even for 10 minutes or listening to it on the radio while I'm driving. But I really have nothing to say about baseball. I talked about trying to walk to Prospect.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I'm going to.
Okay.
This summer I'm going to walk.
Are you stalling? Do you have a third
I'm just
thing?
saying the things that I was going to talk
you
about.
You did talk about that.
I didn't talk about it like I wanted to talk about it. I've mentioned that the kids are gone.
Yeah.
There's really not much more to say about that.
Okay.
Other than the fact that apparently my wife and I, the moment my kids are gone, have lost all motivation to do anything.
Lazy.
Like our house.
You've
looks
turned
like,
into the Lowe's workers.
Our house looks like a frat house.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's completely out of control.
That's awesome.
And Erica said, is this what it's like when me and the kids leave? I was like, yeah. It usually takes about 5 or 6 days, and then I snap myself into shape. You know what I mean? And then I look around, I'm like, geez, what has happened here? And then I clean everything up, and then I'm good after that.
Yeah.
And I was right. Actually, it did. Our house right now is actually good because about 5 or 6 days afterwards, we just couldn't take it anymore. So, but I was thinking about school.
Yes.
Like you talked about earlier. And I was remembering when I was a kid.
Is this your third thing?
Yeah, this is it. Are you ready?
Yeah, you gave like 8 half things.
It's called, Jason, building up anticipation.
Okay.
You wouldn't understand anything about that.
I just go for it.
So like sometimes like before you're about ready to say something interesting, you take a drink.
And everybody's sitting
And then you
like this.
say the interesting thing.
Okay.
But it's got to be interesting. If it's not interesting,
Is that what you're going to do
you
right
just
now?
took a drink. What's that?
Is that what you're doing right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a fine
On a scale
line.
of 1 to 10, how
Yeah.
interesting is it?
4. There's a fine line between stalling
Yeah.
and building up anticipation.
Okay.
At some point, it just becomes
You're
stalling.
hoping it goes from 4 to 5.
Yes, because the longer I stall, the more
Yes.
it'll do one of two things. It'll either push people away. I'd
Yeah.
say about 90% of the people.
Yes.
But there'll be a 10% population
They'll enjoy
that
it
says,
more.
I'm hanging on to this.
Yeah, this
like
might be
that
good.
GIF of a guy that's like climbing up a ladder that says,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You'll never believe what happens when he gets to
Or the guy
top.
chopping down the tree.
Yeah, you'll never believe.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and watch it for 10 minutes. I'm like, this is anticipation.
I can't wait.
Have you gotten tricked on those before?
When it first came out. Yeah.
For me, it was the ladder.
For me, it was the guy chopping down the tree.
It's a guy. You'll never believe what happens when he gets to the top. And I'm just like, I was so mad. I think I watched it for 10 minutes. Because at some point you're like,
He's going to get there eventually.
and like all the more, it must be incredible. If
Yeah.
people have already waited,
Yes.
other people have probably watched this video and
Yeah.
they waited till, you know what I mean? He said, you'll never believe. I got to find out what that is.
Yeah.
It took a long time for me to realize, a really long time. Like he could have climbed up Mount Everest in the time that I waited.
Yeah.
So it's all about building up
Okay.
anticipation for.
So
when
what's
I'm
your
about ready
third
to say it.
thing?
I was thinking about school lunches,
Mm.
and I want to do two things when it comes to school lunch. First of all, I want to tell the story about the first time I made my own school lunch.
Oh.
Have I told
okay.
this story before?
I don't know. I don't remember it.
So when we were kids, we would sometimes we'd pack and sometimes we'd buy the school lunch.
I would pack a lot.
Yeah. I depended on if it was pizza
Well,
day.
you buy them pizza day.
Yeah. It's a square pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Rectangle.
Technically, it could be called pizza. I mean, it was cheese on some sort of bread.
Cheese with some tomato sauce on a bread
I think there
substance.
were pepperonis too.
I don't remember.
It might have had
pepperoni.
little. Oh, it was the
Diced?
pepperonis diced. It was
Yeah.
diced pepperonis. It would no pizza has ever made me sweat as much as that pizza would make you sweat. I don't know why, but I break out into a sweat when I was
Yeah.
eating that pizza. Yeah, there was corn dog day.
Yeah.
It was like goulash day, which was just
Sloppy
everything.
Joe.
Sloppy Joe day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes we would pack. And I remember the first day that I packed my own lunch.
Mm.
We were running late or something, and Mom said, I said, where's my lunch? And she said, just pack your own lunch. I mean, like, you're just going to throw this at me? You know what I mean? Like, we've not done any dry runs.
How old do you
We've
think
never
you were?
talked about this before. I'd say I was in the second grade.
Okay.
So I could almost guarantee.
So you're like Teddy's age.
Yes. I
Okay.
could almost guarantee I was in the second grade because I'm trying to think of, because this was a big day for me.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in my seat. And so I go to the thing, and I know to get the bag. And I said, what do I make? And she said, just make a peanut butter sandwich. You know, it's like, okay. So I get the peanut butter out, and I'm putting it on the bread. Okay, all right, I got this. Okay, I can do this. And as I'm putting the peanut butter on the bread, I look up, and you know what I saw? A can of Hershey's syrup. Remember the cans?
Yes, I remember
First of
the
all,
cans.
bring those cans back.
I want the cans.
I want the cans.
Where you had to like.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a thing anymore?
I don't know.
If it is, Stella, you don't even know what we're talking about, do you?
Like a soup can,
Yeah.
but you had to take like this triangle like bottle opener
Uh-huh.
and like pry it open.
Yeah. So there's like a sharp shard of metal sticking out that you could possibly puncture. So I look, it's a Hershey syrup can with the yellow lid.
I remember.
Yeah. So I look up and I was like, this is going to be the greatest lunch ever. This is going to be incredible. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just seeing it all happen. So I take the thing and I just pour it on the peanut butter and put the bread on top and put it in the thing. And I'm doing it quick because I don't want anybody to find out. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited about it. So I got it right there, and so I put it in my lunch bag, and all day, like all morning, I'm just like, this is gonna be amazing. Everybody's gonna be so jealous. I'm gonna eat a Hershey's. I'm gonna eat a Reese's cup.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I'm about ready to eat a Reese's cup, a giant Reese's cup for lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that up until that point of my life, I've ever been so excited about anything.
Yeah.
I couldn't focus on schoolwork. Mrs. Keller was talking. I wasn't listening.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm just watching that clock, watching the clock. Whatever lunchtime hits, we run, and I open it up, and I couldn't even.
It was wet.
I couldn't even get the sandwich out of the bag. It had turned into some sort of soupy mixture. You know what I mean? Like somehow even the peanut butter itself had like disintegrated. Like it had broken down.
That's
everything.
why they keep the Hershey's in a can.
It was like,
yeah, it would have melted.
And I like, and you know what I mean? There's a Bible verse that says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me that day. Now, hindsight, chocolate chips, not a bad idea.
Yeah,
but
you didn't know that.
I know that. I thought, and it's just like, what do I do now? I can't. And I like try to like, like. And now, what I was so proud of, I thought I was going to be the king of the lunchroom.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought everyone was going to be praising me. You know what I mean? Like, Dan, you did it. You did it. You know, you finally. And now I'm like shamefully like hiding it, like, you know what I mean? Could it be good? You know, maybe. And it was not good.
Yeah.
It didn't taste like chocolate or peanut butter or anything. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was a really sad, depressing day. So if you're watching at home and you think that putting Hershey syrup on a peanut butter sandwich is
not
good
a good
idea,
choice, yeah.
I strongly suggest that you do not do that.
I think if you maybe a little bit.
I mean, not as much as I did. I can tell you that much. Because for me, it was equal parts peanut butter and chocolate.
I could have told you.
Why not?
Well,
you know what? If a little chocolate's good, you know what's more? You know what's better?
More.
So, I got more to say.
Okay.
You can't. No, you don't.
What else? What else you got?
Well, I don't know. How far are we into this thing?
I don't know. I thought that story was done.
I wanted to talk a little bit more about school lunches.
Okay.
Really quickly. I just wanted to do the Mount Rushmore of school lunch.
Yes.
Now, I'm not just saying, shut up. I'm not just saying Mount Rushmore. What's in this? I'm not just saying Mount Rushmore of food items available at school lunch.
Yes.
That's a different Mount Rushmore.
What are you
saying?
saying?
This Mount Rushmore is the Mount Rushmore of school lunch. That's it. So I'd like to make two suggestions off the top, right?
Lunch lady.
Well, yes. That was not going to be one of my top two.
Okay.
Now, some of this is specific to us, to the way we grew up.
Okay.
So that when we grew up...
Are you talking school lunch?
Elementary school lunch.
Elementary school lunch.
Yes. Okay. Because when you get out of high school, you end up getting more choices and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm talking elementary school lunch in 1989. Okay? Let's
in
just
high
get really
school,
specific.
in the 90s, I got a bagel every day for lunch.
Of course you did, because that's
Cream
the right
cheese.
thing to do.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like 80s Prospect, Ohio school lunch, okay?
Yeah, okay. Small town.
So one of the things is that the way that we did our school lunch was that when lunch was over,
Recess.
it bled into recess.
That's right.
So the faster you eat,
The more
quicker
recess.
you get to recess. So for me, when I think of school lunch, all I'm thinking about is in my brain, what are we going to play? Are we going to play football today? Are we going to play basketball? Are we just going to run around? Are we going to play tag? So for me, recess, like the anticipation of recess is right there. I don't know if it's worth mentioning.
I don't know. I feel like recess is a whole separate thing.
I know, but for me, that's all I thought about during school lunch was going to recess.
I think, what was your second?
Well, the second thing is something that I don't know that is a thing anymore, which is they would pick the meanest teacher to be the school lunch attendant.
Yeah.
And you had to finish your food. Like that was a thing.
Stella, do you have to finish your food at school?
Like in elementary.
She was Oklahoma. That was a couple years. Yeah.
Well, I had lunch with my daughter in elementary last year or the year before. And
Yeah.
there was none of that.
Yeah.
There was a teacher there, but she was just making sure the kids weren't screaming and
Right.
stuff, But with us, we had to show her our thing
plate, yeah.
before she would allow us to go to recess.
Yeah.
So I just scarf it
Because
down.
people like you would just throw away a whole bag of food
because
to go play football.
Yeah. Because if you get out there first, you get the ball first, and you get to pick teams.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
See, I was thinking lunch lady.
All right, I think lunch ladies.
I think lunch tray.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lunch
the
tray.
lunch tray, it's designed. Teal.
Uh-huh.
It's designed to fit the pizza square.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like whoever designed the lunch tray
Yes.
and whoever designed that square piece of pizza
I feel like
probably were
which
working.
came first? I'd say the tray
The
came
tray
first.
probably came 1st.
And then they said,
They adjusted it to, or
Yeah.
did they say, look, there's a big long rectangle. Let's make the pizza fit that.
yeah, probably. That would be my guess.
Yeah. So tray,
Tray,
lunch lady,
lunch lady. What else?
milk, the carton of milk.
Mhm, the carton of milk. And I never understood why anybody did get chocolate milk.
I got white.
I know.
Every
That's
time. I
weird.
can't stand chocolate
I
milk.
thought the kids that got white milk were the weirdest kids. I was like, they have chocolate, and they're offering it. It's not like they're saying you can't. It's not like you're saying hey, every other day don't get chocolate because we're gonna run out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Chocolate's available every day if you want it.
That chocolate milk was very chalky.
Yeah, and
It had a weird
and
aftertaste.
that white milk, because I was forced to drink it a couple times because
Yeah.
they actually did run out of chocolate.
Where they could just run out? Well, actually, they did.
It tasted like, I don't know, not like milk.
White water.
Yeah, white water
Yeah.
is a good description of it.
Yeah. It was white water. You had white water and chalky milk.
But a carton of milk, a small carton
a
of
carton
milk.
of milk.
Okay, lunch
the
lady,
tray, and the
carton
lunch-
of milk. What else?
One more thing. So in a couple, I know when in Oklahoma, when I went to lunch with my kids down there in elementary, there was a special table where you would sit if you had visitors.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. I don't know if that's everywhere.
I don't think that's
It
enough.
wasn't when we were kids.
Mhm.
We never had visitors. There's no visitors eating lunch with kids.
No.
The DARE officer ate lunch with us one time.
I remember that.
That was a big deal. Yeah.
Deputy,
I don't know.
I think it started with a D.
Darren.
Yeah.
Paper bag.
Yeah, I guess.
So if you're going to pack your lunch,
you
I mean,
say
you have a
lunch
lunch box. I'd say, man,
'Cause
for
a
elementary.
A cool lunchbox is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
If you're in elementary, a cool lunch box
You
is
got
where
a
it's
Superman lunchbox? Are you kidding me?
at. Ninja Turtles.
Ninja Turtle lunchbox?
It's probably lunchbox over paper
All
bag.
right, there it is.
I like paper bag because you throw it away
Listen,
and you're done.
Listen. As a parent, you like paper bag.
Yeah.
Out of the convenience of it. Because you're not going to find a random lunchbox with spoiled food on the
Yeah.
inside.
Guess
5 days
what
later.
our family doesn't do? Lunch boxes. Okay? And guess what we found under our seat 3 months later?
What?
A lunchbox. We'd picked up Elise, the cousin,
And
the
food
kid's
was
cousin.
spoiled in it?
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah. Hey, that's why you don't do lunch
That's why we don't do lunch boxes. Take your food when
So
you're
there
done.
it is.
Eat it.
Lunch
throw it away.
lady,
Yeah.
lunch tray, carton of milk,
Mm-hmm.
and lunchbox.
That's good.
I mean, 3 of those. No. Have the word lunch in them, right? Did we
Lunch
say
lady,
lunch tray?
yeah. Lunch box, lunch milk.
I don't think that's a thing. Now you can play the Netflix
Okay.
suggestion of the week music. Just in the future,
I thought you were done.
maybe just ask me.
Your story was kind of.
That's more of the anticipation. You don't understand.
Netflix, watch these shows of those. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Netflix, watch these shows with us. Netflix, or maybe Hulu Plus. Or maybe
maybe Amazon Prime or something like that, like YouTube, or we don't want to put a box around what you watch, so you never know.
Jason, what is your Netflix suggestion of the week?
My Netflix suggestion of the week.
You gotta get a better cup.
Anticipation. I started watching the show with my son Harrison because we just finished Into the Badlands. We have to start a whole new show,
Okay.
The Walking Dead. So he is 13. How old is Harrison's 13 years old, I think. I think he's 13. I've already watched it with Estelle, at least 6 or 7 seasons worth. And I'm starting him back from season 1, which is on Netflix. The first 9 seasons are on Netflix. It might still be a live show. It's a really, really good show. But what's funny is this. The outbreak in The Walking Dead, it's a zombie movie, if you know. They make active references to the CDC in Atlanta and the disease and research and all this stuff. And when we watched it, I watched it when it first came out like 10, 15 years ago. And then I watched it again with Estelle 5 or 6 years ago. Then I'm watching it again now with a fresh set of eyes after the coronavirus. It's interesting. Like, no, I'm telling you, it really is. Like when you think about the stuff that could get out and the like there was a, in The Walking Dead, the CDC at one point ends up blowing up because there's a decontamination. Like you want to burn up the virus before it escapes. Like if there's a problem, the thing blows up. I thought it was interesting.
So your suggestion is The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. Not
Which is
family
on
friendly.
Netflix.
I would not watch it with my younger kids.
Yeah.
I've watched it with my older ones. It's fine. It's
It's
a
a
very good
zombie
movie.
Show.
It is. It's my wife can't handle it.
Yeah.
She doesn't like the stuff that like not that it could happen, but it could happen.
Okay.
She doesn't want to think about because you're put in situations where like your kid is a zombie.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you shoot your kid? I don't want to do that,
Right.
but you might have to
Hopefully you have a friend.
shoot your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a pact.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't like to think about those things.
Right.
I think it's fun not to think about killing my own kids. I think it's fun. It's a fun show.
We were having a discussion one day about the best way to rob a bank. And it was like there's a bunch of people there.
Yeah.
And Erica said, she said something about how that's such a weird conversation or thought. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, you've thought about it though, right? She's like, no, I've literally never. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I think everybody
Yeah.
at some point
Yes.
has been in the bank and looked around and thought,
I can do this. Yeah.
This is how I would do it, right?
I have.
So my Netflix suggestion of the week is on Amazon Prime, which I've been watching a lot of lately. I'm thinking about getting rid of Netflix. Would that be
Hypocritical? Hypothermial? What are you drinking?
It said it was tea.
Your face is red.
Uh-huh.
You're slurring your words. And you're a little giggly.
I mean, it's herbal tea.
Oh,
maybe.
see, yeah.
I don't know. Hypothetical.
Hypocritical. Hypothetical. Is it hypocritical?
Hypothetically, I'm thinking about getting rid of Netflix. And I feel like that might be hypocritical because I have a show that has a Netflix suggestion of the week.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of done with Netflix. I feel like they're super left-wing. And all of like, I just feel like they keep on, I feel like I can't trust
And
any.
Amazon's not?
It probably is, but I just feel like Netflix is pushing it more than Amazon
They
is.
all are.
I don't know. I feel
It's bad. Every media, and once again, I watch this with Estelle. It's like, why do they have to put every special interest in every TV show or movie that's out there?
It has to be a sampler of
Yeah,
every
a
single.
sampler of all the weird.
Yeah.
Like, where's the normal people,
Yeah.
right?
There's one normal person.
Yeah.
But he's always the bad guy. He's like
Yeah.
the jerk.
yeah.
It's like,
And just flooded with liberal left-wing agenda.
yeah, I feel like Netflix is worse. Anyway, on Amazon Prime, there was a documentary that I think you would like. The premise is great. The characters are great. The delivery could be better. Okay.
Okay.
So I would like a better documentary film crew to pick this story up because
Okay.
I feel like it could be better. Anyway, it's called The Way of the Puck, and it is about the National Air Hockey Championships. Did you know that this was a
No,
thing?
I didn't know.
It is a big thing. Well, I don't know if it's a big thing, but it's a thing that's
Yeah.
been happening since the 70s.
Mm.
And these guys, and they talked about how this one guy in like the 80s completely revolutionized the sport by creating this. There's this one move where you go around the thing, and then and now like you're not supposed to hold it like you would think you would hold it, like the way it's made to be held. You have to just put two fingers on the edge of it, and somehow that's better, you know. And these
But
guys
you could
have,
hold it if you wanted.
You could hold it however you want, but
Yeah.
nobody does, you know. It'd be like, yeah, I mean, it's just like the way they used to pitch a baseball. Nobody pitches the baseball that way anymore with like that weird, like, you know,
Extra wind up.
yeah, extra wind up, you know, like this thing and all of that stuff, you know. They've discovered that that's not the best way to do it, so they don't
Yeah.
do it that way anymore.
Yeah. I would like to see somebody do that again.
So please make it happen. So the characters are as crazy as you think they would be. They talk a lot about the athleticism of the sport, but all of these guys are pretty out of shape, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they are sweating. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, how could you dedicate this much of your
Yeah.
eating habits must be atrocious or you just never do anything
Outside of this.
outside of this.
Yeah.
This is your only physical activity ever.
Yeah.
And they tell the history of air hockey, and then they kind of focus in on this national championship in Las Vegas. It's in a hotel conference room. You know what I mean? It's not like at an arena or
It's in Las
anything.
Vegas, right?
Apparently, the glory days of air hockey was pre-video game. So, like, once like Pac-Man and Galaga and stuff came out, air hockey became less and less popular.
Yeah.
But apparently, there used to be places where there would be 5, 6, 7 air hockey. Like there'd be pinball and air hockey.
Yeah.
And air hockey was a much bigger deal.
Huh.
And you know, the guy that's like the best in the world, you know, he just discovered it he's like, one day I was at college and somebody, you know, brought out this air hockey table. I was like, what is this? And I won 13 games in a row and I haven't looked back since or something. So I would
See the Billy Mitchell.
No, I mean
okay.
that's what it's missing is
Yeah.
a villain. You know,
Yeah.
like the Billy Mitchell. I just feel like a better documentary crew could like dig deeper.
Right.
The footage is pretty not so great, but it's called The Way of the Puck, and it's fun to watch people.
Okay.
You know, to kind of make fun of people.
I want to see Billy Mitchell get into air hockey.
Listen. Well, that's the thing, though. Billy Mitchell's not going to get into anything that he can't be the best in.
That is true.
You know, he knows he can be the best in Pac-Man, Donkey Kong,
Barbecue sauce.
barbecue sauce. Exactly. Like, you know, he didn't just show up one day with his own barbecue sauce. He was in his kitchen,
Yeah.
night in, night out, testing
Yeah.
different kinds
with
of
his
barbecue
American
sauce.
tie.
Yeah, with his American tie. So I love the premise of the documentary. I love the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's almost there. It just needs a little bit
Yeah.
better crew working on it.
I gotcha.
But, you know, if you don't have anything better to do, The Way of the Puck.
That's an awesome suggestion. It's not
We
great. but
suggested
if you
something
can-
from like 20 years ago that you've seen 3 times already. So
That's how good it is. I've watched it 3 times, and I'll watch it a 4th. I'll watch it once. It's a passage, a rite of passage.
Rite of passage.
Once you're mature enough to handle the zombies,
Mm-hmm.
you can watch special movies with Dad.
Rite of passage.
Yeah, it's Walking Dead.
My family's rite of passage is,
Monty Python.
I was going to say, killing a homeless person.
It's the Purge. We purge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you turn 12.
We just go find one.
Because you know what? You're going to have to someday.
Yeah.
So let's just get the first one out of the way, you know. So, or, you know, helping an old woman cross the street,
No, putting soil in the back of some old lady's car
which I've done at
Yeah.
Ollie's.
today.
It wasn't today.
Oh, whatever.
Listen, you can press that button
It doesn't mean anything.
whenever you want. Are we even doing this anymore?
Are we? What is going on?
Okay, so if you made it this far, You've won,
Congratulations.
you've won a set of steak knives. We'll send it to you.
Uh-huh.
And what we'd like you to send to us is just a knick-knack.
Yes. Or send us steak knives.
Maybe a picture of you and your family.
Ooh, that'd be good.
You know,
Shoeless Joe and his whole family. We'll hang up a picture back there.
I'll do it.
Do you have anything else?
Well, I think next week we should
Have more stuff?
to talk about.
That's a good idea. This was just this is a journey, right?
It's not about the destination.
It's about the journey.
What is the destination?
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Dan signing off for Jason, reminding you to always keep your stick on the ice and never wear the blue sweats.
Sit, boo, sit. Good dog. I have spoken.
I have spoken.